All eukaryotes form a clade which share a number of features, such as a nucleus, membrane-bound organelles, such as mitochondria and Golgi, a cytoskeleton with actin, cilia, and eukaryotic flagella, a number of genes such as those for cellular respiration and for mitosis, and a host of other features. They arose, at least in part, through endosymbiosis, where bacterial cells develop the ability to live inside the larger host in a relationship where they both benefited. This is what endosymbiosis means. And there is plenty of evidence suggesting that mitochondria and chloroplasts resulted from endosymbiosis, such as their circular bacterial chromosomes, the fact that they're like bacteria in size and shape, sensitive to the same antibiotics as bacteria, and many other features. I have given you in the objectives a number of traits of different protist groups, and so if you could match them to their description. So for example, if I ask which of the protist groups produces much oxygen as the rainforest, you would answer diatoms. Or which of the amoeboid groups are encased in a hard shell? This would be the radiolarians with their shell of silica, and the foraminiferans with their shell of calcium carbonate, which are most closely related to animals, the choanoflagellates, etc. I'll ask you to distinguish between the movements of Euglena, Paramecia, and amoeba. The euglenoids, they use the action of a large flagellum, while Paramecia are covered in cilia, which they use in order to move, and amoeba move by reorganizing their cytoskeleton and extending these false feet or pseudopods. There are a number of the protists which are called algae, and the green, red, and brown algae vary in a number of features, such as the type of starch they use, whether they can be multicellular, whether they can be endosymbionts, whether they live in fresh or saltwater environments, etc. Finally, I gave you a cladogram where we talked about the origin of protists. Using this cladogram, I'd expect that you would be able to point out which groups have a specific relationship. So which would be most closely related to animals? Well, that would be choanoflagellates on this cladogram. Which are most closely related to fungi? That would be the microsporidia. Note that in the cladogram, not all of the descendants of the first protists are still classified as protists, and so therefore plants, animals, and fungi have all descended from the first eukaryotes, but they are not considered protists, and so therefore Protista is not a real biological group, since not all of the descendants of the common ancestors are still classified in the group.